Alright, so we got the 11/27 spoilers, and we are completely in Elbaf right now, and the core Straw Hats are reuniting. By the core ones, I mean, you know, like the originals. Luffy, Zoro, Nami, Usopp, and Sanji. They're all in Viking outfits, and they actually fight in this chapter, interestingly enough. So let's get into it. Nami finds herself inside a massive castle, built entirely out of Lego pieces. Even the plants are made out of Lego. The castle is located in Elbaf. So we saw this at the end of the previous chapter. But before we get into what this could be, at the beginning of the previous chapter, we saw that the giant pirates and the Straw Hats were on their way to Elbaf, leaving Egghead, and they were all like partying and drinking. Then apparently they got like blacked out on absinthe, and when they woke up, the Thousand Sunny was gone, meaning that the crew is now divided. Because Robin, Frankie, Brooke, Jinbei, Bonnie, Lilith, and Kuma are with the giant pirates on their ship. And then suddenly we saw Nami wake up in this room, dressed like a Viking who's also like a Twitch streamer trying to sell an OF. And as for this Lego room, I assume it's one of two things. Either this is the product of a devil fruit, like somebody has the Lego no Mi or whatever. And if it's not a devil fruit, then this is just like odd Elbafian architecture. Because I looked up like who created Lego, and apparently it was this guy Ole Kirk Christensen, who's from Denmark. And Denmark is in Scandinavia, and it did in fact have Vikings back in the day. So I assume this is probably what Oda's doing here. But let's just go into the rest of the spoilers now, and then we'll try to make some sense of it. As she's running from enormous insects, she spots Usopp being attacked by a giant cat. Try to fight the cat, but it sends Usopp flying with a powerful swipe. Suddenly, the cat transforms into a giant lion and charges at both Nami and Usopp. Just as things seem dire, Luffy, Zoro, and Sanji arrive and take down the giant lion with a coordinated combo attack. Chapter ends with Luffy, Zoro, Nami, Usopp, and Sanji reunited, all wearing Viking outfits, ready to leave the Lego castle. Alright, let's go! Like I said, the core Straw Hats are back together here, and this is just typical Oda starting a new big arc. I mean, quite literally, because we've gone through this same situation with these last 4 or 5 arcs. Like, something will happen, and then they just appear on this island after something happened with their ship possibly, or they themselves. And then once they get there, they're kind of confused. The lay of the land is weird, and there's some kind of creature or monsters or some kind of anomalies that are attacking them, or it appears that they are being attacked. This happened in Punk Hazard, Whole Cake Island, Wano, and most recently in Egghead. They all started the same way. Wano even more so, because Luffy like fell into a whirlpool or whatever happened, and the octopus saved him, and then he wound up in Wano just the way that they are allegedly here. So this is just, I guess, how Oda likes to start these big arcs, and it makes me think that this is gonna be a big arc. Like, we're probably gonna be here for the next 2 years. Just take it a guess. But first, let's talk about the sponsor of this video, Hofsco, because I just picked up their Hov Alpha 26-inch electric fat tire bike, and this thing is absolutely incredible. It's probably my favorite possession. Just looking at it, it's incredibly aesthetic, but it also has a 1300 watt motor with a high capacity integrated battery that gives you a range of up to 80 miles per charge. It also has a max speed of 28 miles per hour, as well as a 450-pound payload capacity, along with an intuitive LCD digital panel, front suspension, hydraulic disc brakes, a Shimano 7-speed shifter, a headlight and a tail light, as well as a solid aluminum crankset. It also has this really cool thumb throttle that allows you to just cruise without having to pedal. Like I said, this thing is incredible. I feel so safe on the road with it, and it's so powerful. It easily blasts through hills and incline and goes through rough terrain and the forest like it's nothing. That's one of the main reasons why I wanted to get it, because it's kind of difficult to go through trails and unpaved roads with traditional bikes. I also don't own a car, considering that I live downtown in the city. I don't have to deal with like car insurance and parking and mechanics and any of that stuff. I just get around no problem with this bad boy. So guys, check the link in the description and make sure you use code
Big Z for $100 off. Thank you guys.
Now, as for this giant cat that can transform into a lion, don't know what to make of this. It could be a cat that ate a devil fruit, of course, or it's just some kind of new, unique creature that exists only in Elbaf. You know, when we come to these new places, we do discover new creatures that we haven't seen before. Did Zoro, Luffy, and Sanji need to team up to take this thing down? Probably not. I think they just did this for like a cool moment because, you know, this is probably going to be like a big episode. Once it comes around, like they'll probably be advertising it as like the start of the new arc where Luffy, Zoro, and Sanji all team up to attack something, which they don't typically do.
Let me also point out that they could all be hallucinating at this point because it was said that the green fairy absinthe that they're drinking can make you hallucinate, and we do specifically see each of these characters drinking besides Luffy, but still, I don't know. This could be a hallucination to some extent, maybe.
Also, they're all wearing Viking outfits here. So that means that when they were sleeping, one of the Elbafians undressed all of them and then put new clothes on them, which is, you know, problematic. But now that they are leaving the castle, what's going to happen? Well, your guess is as good as mine. The main storyline, I assume, that is going to take place here is something to do with Prince Loki. There has to be some kind of aspect to this arc where Elbaf is being suppressed in some way and Luffy has to do something to liberate it, right? I'm assuming that's usually what happens here. Me personally, I would just like it if Elbaf is just a training arc. I know One Piece doesn't have training arcs, but they do have training like inside of them sometimes, like, you know, what we had in the Wano prison. I think it should be training and exposition dumps. Train them up, get them stronger, not necessarily Luffy because he already is in power creep territory, but the rest of the Straw Hats. The ones who don't have haki, give them haki, because Robin, Frankie, Usopp, and Nami, and Brook too, don't have haki, which is like really funny. And I know Usopp quote unquote unlocked it back in Dressrosa, but we haven't seen him do anything with observation haki since that point, right? I'm pretty sure he literally never does anything with observation haki again. So he is like the bare minimum for getting a power up in this arc, especially since he's all about Elbaf and the giants and all that stuff. And as for Nami, I understand she doesn't really need haki. She serves her purpose in a different way, and she has Zeus and all that stuff. But Robin, Frankie, and Brook definitely should have some sort of haki, because it's going to be really funny once we get to the very end of the series and like these characters are defeating like the most powerful characters we've ever seen literally without haki, when it was stated that haki make or breaks you in this world and that devil fruits essentially don't really matter. Also, we need some serious lore. We need to go more into Joy Boy, which we probably will, and then we need to find out where the final road poneglyph is, so that after this arc we'll have things in motion to go after the One Piece actually, because then they'll in theory know where the location of it is. So that's pretty much it for this one, guys. Let me know what you think about it in the comments, and if you like the video, please give it a like and please subscribe if you haven't already. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.